When it comes to the future of cars and the automotive industry as a whole, there's kind of a two-sided debate of whether or not electric cars will be the future, kind of the be-all, end-all of the automotive industry. You know, whether all cars will end up being only electric. And the thing about that is, you have people who say, well, you can't have an all electric car all the time because of the range, or it's not exactly environmentally friendly because the electricity still has to be generated, and most electricity, the way it's generated is, it produces greenhouse gases, whether it's coal, at least in the United States, whether it's coal or whether it's natural gas or whether it's oil or whatever, uh, we do have some nuclear, but that is a pretty small way to generate electricity. Now, as to whether or not the future of the automotive industry will see only electric cars, the thing about that is that our roadways as a whole, our road infrastructure, is not optimized to use electric cars the way it is optimized for internal combustion engines. You know what I mean? You can't drive more than 10 miles most places without running into a gas station. And most cars have some form of a gas engine. Tesla was, everybody knows this, they're pretty much the pioneers of the electric car industry. They're the first car company to make electric cars popular and I think relevant. Now, if you think about what's important in a car, what's important for transportation, personal transportation, I argue that the most important thing is regenerative ability, the ability of a car to make the most out of the power, and not only that, but to generate its own. And the problem with batteries is that they run out. Batteries don't generate electricity, they only store electricity. So, for the time being, cars will have to have some regenerative capability. For example, the Volvo XC90 T6. That is an SUV with a 2-liter supercharged and turbocharged engine, but it also comes, the T8 comes with a battery pack. And the engine can charge the battery. Same with the new 5 Series, same with some of the Lexuses, same with a lot of cars. I would argue that for the time being, that's the best way, because you're reducing the amount of energy that every car consumes while improving that car's ability to regenerate energy on its own. So if you want to think about it like this, in order to make electric cars relevant, you have to make them, you have to change the geography as a whole. You know what I mean? You're going to have to do something to the roadways and do something to the entire transportation infrastructure to make it sustainable for electric cars. Now, if you notice along the side of roads, a lot of roadways have electrical lines running down the side. So, I think, I don't know if it was Elon Musk who said this, but somebody doing electric cars said that a way to make it regenerative is to simply put some type of conductor under the road that allows the car to charge its battery as it drives down the road. Yeah, that could be one way to solve the problem of, electric cars running out of battery. However, that is an extremely expensive and very, very difficult thing to innovate. You basically have to reconstruct every road in America, or at least the major ones, which would, from a construction aspect, I think that would be impossible. But in terms of the car industry as a whole, I think most automakers get it that the best way to go for now is an internal combustion engine coupled with a battery pack, or some type of engine that generates power, some type of generator, whether that's a gas engine or, you know, a natural gas engine, like a lot of the new public transportation buses are using. And you know, if you go to a lot of college towns use those actually, which is interesting. But you know, if you go to some larger cities and some college towns, you'll see a lot of their buses run on natural gas. So some type of regenerative engine that powers the battery cells, I think, is the best way to go for the automotive industry as a whole as it sits today.